the first play, I think we mis-ID'd it. So we just gotta, just like communicate better, get on the same page. And then the second play was kind of like PTSD for me from the first play. So I didn't want to keep stretching it too long, so I cut it up, which I probably could have hit it outside for a bigger run. But I feel like for us, it's just about still getting on the same page, which we feel like, we're just getting better and better at just making sure that we're doing our little things right, so we could, hit the big ones when they give it to us.
When you say this idea, just didn't read how they were playing it?
No, just with motion and stuff, sometimes they shift the safeties and rock the safeties down there. They'll shift the linebackers over and rock the safety down the other way. Just like little stuff like that we weren't communicating as well as we wanted to on. So we kind of, the whole offense wasn't on the same page with that type of stuff. A few plays.
You obviously have high expectations for yourself this season.
Mm-hmm.
When watching the film, did you feel like there were plays you left out there, or was it a matter of you're just playing a really good defense? And
obviously, I had a fumble on a great play from Fred. And then I think I had a drop, which obviously you never want to drop the ball, but that happens. That's just part of the game. But other than that, I feel like I pretty much got everything I could get. One run, I think it's probably one run I wish I could have back, but for the most part, I just think we all got to do a better job of just being on the same page and doing our little details right, whether it's from, the receivers to the running backs, the O-line, the D-line, quarterbacks, corners, safeties, whatever, linebackers, whatever the case may be. I just think we all agreed that we could have been better, just communicating and being on our little details.
Do you, after watching that film, do you leave kind of feeling confident with the running game that it was just a few plays, a few little things against a really good defense?
I feel like, obviously we never want to lose, but when we looked at the film, it's like, we're just this far off, just a little tick off, or just stuff like that. And for me personally, that's huge. Just knowing that, once we just do these little things correctly, then we're going to be getting everything we want in the run game, the pass game, with our play fakes. So, like I said, it's just down in on our, fundamentals and techniques, and for us to just be fine on game day.
From a confidence standpoint, how much does it help? You're talking about a game where you can get better, and you still scored 3 touchdowns in that game too, just in terms of offense and what you guys can be this year.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like most of the time, most of our drives that we didn't convert on and we got stopped and we shot ourselves in the foot. So, like I said, I feel like whenever we're on our P's and Q's and whenever we're doing what we need to do, we'll be fine. I ain't too worried about it. Like I said, I had the fumble, I had a drop. I feel like I had a misread on one run, and then I feel like I'm sure other guys felt like they could have contributed better, been on their P's and Q's a little more, but. For me personally, I feel like I left some out there, but I feel like we're going to get better from it, just grow from it.
There's potential rain in the forecast. How do you approach that mentally? Do you enjoy it when it's like that, and how does that change things as a runner?
I don't think it changes anything. Like, depending on how much it rains, like it could be sprinkling and your game plan doesn't change, but obviously if it's pouring rain and the balls are slippery and wet, you're going to run the ball every play. So it's like just adjusting to it and just playing football.
How excited are you for Sunday after the way the first one went?
Just very excited, I feel like the game one always gets misconstrued because some teams win, some teams lose, and it could be a team that, like I said, wins week one and does terrible week two, or loses week one and, really picks it up week two, and there's teams that pick it up just getting better going through each game. So I feel like, obviously you take the good with the bad, take the constructive criticism and flush it and just keep getting better going into the next week.
Is there like a process for you with the line that's completely new? Does it take time?
No, that's not really a process. Like, we do our run game stuff every day. We have protection meetings with each other. We go over blitz pickups and walkthroughs and practice and everything. So our communication there is fine. You just got to really hone in and do it in the game. And I felt like, all of us were a tick off in the game, which, that happens. It happens to every team at some point. You always end up to having a point where you don't do stuff as well as you wanted to, or you have a miscommunication with certain things. So just honing into your fundamentals and details and doing the little things right.
Is it somewhat, I guess, of a positive that what you're talking about is just detail stuff? It's not that it's stuff that you can clean up.
Yeah. You feel a lot better when it's stuff that you can fix instead of just like say you're just getting smashed in the mouth the whole game. So I feel like for us, we just feel like we just have to, come in and fix a few things, and like I said, just worry about our fundamentals and details for us to be fine.
How much of this week was just built around just kind of the detail things and cleaning up the small things?
The day after the game, that's pretty much all it is. You come in, watch the film, and just get better from it. You talk about that stuff, and you have your offensive and defensive meetings or team meetings. Coach Sala tells us what he thinks and what he saw, and we all talk about with our coaches how we could get better, how we could have done this or that better. And then, like I said, you flush it, show up to practice the next day, and just keep getting better.
What's the biggest challenge when you're stretched like this for 3 games in 11 days or whatever?
It should just be a sore for me personally, especially with how much we want to run the ball. That's why, it's a blessing to have the O-line we do, and the blessing to have, guys like Braylon and Isaiah, Izzy, to, take some of the load off my back. So, if we run the ball, how much that we think that we will, then I know I'm going to be pretty sore going into Thursday, and that's when Braylon will be able to help me out a lot, which he's been doing very well, and I can't wait for him to get some more opportunities to play, because he definitely deserves it for sure.
What do you expect out of this run game on Sunday? After watching the film and everything, and knowing how close you guys were.
Obviously every week we expect to win, whether we rush for 200 yards or whether we rush for 90. We just want to get the win at the end of the day. So that's all we're worried about.
I feel like it's a small sample size. We got one of the best of all time, so we got to let him be the best of all time. Is how I see it. That's how I feel. He can really ball. So it's just film, just getting better each rep, and we'll do that. I feel like every rep we get, every week we get, from week to week, we'll get better because we have to build that chemistry. And there's something that comes with playing on Sundays that's a little different than training camp and practice throughout the week. So I feel like we got better truly every rep. And you saw that later in the game. All of a sudden he's drawing people off sides and able to take advantage of the looks they're giving us. So we got to be more detailed. I know I got to be better down the stretch. Yeah.
When you look at Allen had those 2 plays on the drive, obviously the one you talked about, the offside and the one before that.
Yeah.
When you think about from your standpoint, like as you get more comfortable with Aaron, those kind of things are going to be available to you. How much does that excite you? And how do you get to that point?
Yeah, it's exciting, man. You see those. Those are 2 dimes, and them being on the same page. It doesn't just happen overnight. So just week to week, all of a sudden we'll start hitting on some of those, and it's exciting. I play, receiver. I'm an offensive guy. I like scoring points, and that's kind of the way to do it. Explosive plays like that, and like I said, with a guy like that, you can really do it. So,
Garrett, how much urgency is there for you guys on Sunday?
Oh, as much as ever. It's the next opponent. We own one. But like I said, most importantly, they're the next opponent. So, we always approach that week with the mindset to go out and do it with a lot of urgency, and that hasn't changed this week.
What was kind of the reaction to Monday, the way the game went? You guys upset?
Yeah, we lost. We were upset, but it's one game. We have to put it all in perspective after, and really think about, watch the film. Find ways to get better. Remember that's our first time playing with Aaron, playing through a full game. First time playing together as a group. And they're a really good team. So, whenever you get to start the season like that, we looked at it as a great opportunity to see where we're at. It's like we have a better idea of where we're at now, and let's attack the rest of the season now.
What do you expect to see Sunday out of you guys?
I just us have gotten a little better. That's what I expect to see. Some progress. My fallback. That's all. Just get better. From week to week, that's what you got to do, especially in this league. They'll have some plans to stop what we showed on Sunday or on Monday. We got to have the answers.
You said progress. What does it look like in your mind?
Points. Score points. Be efficient. Not go 3 and out. Just play good football. You know when you see it. When you're out there. I know we felt like we weren't playing good ball for a little bit there. That's how it felt on the field. So you have a great idea of it when it feels right and when it doesn't. And as fans watching, I feel like they know the same. And so you'll know when we see it. You know, we'll know when we're doing it. For sure.
Nathaniel and Robert both said they think the offense is close. After you looked at the film, do you feel the same way that the offensive unit is close to kind of being what you guys thought it would be going into the season?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I feel like we're close. Yeah, I do. I feel like we're there. Let's just go do it, right? Let's just go do it. So.
From a physical standpoint, what's the biggest challenge when you're in a stretch like this? 3 games, 11 days.
You know, to still get something out of the work week, but keep your body ready to go for Sunday. You know, that I know how I feel about it. Let's get to Sundays. I want to feel good on Sunday. You know, throughout my time here, I feel like we put a lot on the practice week, but the reality of it is you can't win the game on Tuesday. You can't win the game on Wednesday. So I know how I feel about it, and you know, me being in year 3, having a better idea of how I want to go about things. Let's be ready to go on Sunday when everyone's watching, when it counts, and yeah, that's how I feel about it.